Scarlett. I'm glad that you came back for the second session. So like last week, we will work on your issues together today, okay? So how was your mood last week?
Pretty bad.
How bad was it?
Like, I just didn't want to do anything. So I just stayed in my bed most of the day. I did go on social media, but it didn't help, so I just turned it off.
Oh, okay. So you were pretty much be inactive most of the time. Okay. So did you fill out the mood checklist? Okay, can I see that? Thank you. So it seems like you've been sad and depressed like most of the time half of the last week. Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay. But anxiety score and meeting with people got better in the beginning of the week. So can you explain about this mood change?
Yeah, I think meeting with Sarah, like we planned last session, really helped a lot.
Okay, what did you do with Sarah?
We just like talked, went to a nearby cafe, grabbed a drink.
Okay, great. Actually, I mean, that was our homework last week. And then you did it. Good. You better give yourself credit for that. Because it's not easy. Especially, it's not easy for people who have a depressed mood. But you did it. I mean, they plan all the plans, but you know, the moment that they have to pick up the phone and call, there are a lot of negative thoughts going. So many people give up. Yeah, so
but speaking of planning, I think Sarah wants to meet next week and shop.
Oh, okay.
But
okay, that sounds exciting.
Yeah, but I don't really want to go because
is there any thought going through your mind?
Yeah, because I don't have a job, so I don't have a lot of money, and the only money that I have is usually like allowance for my mom. So if I go and spend money and like buy things with Sarah, which I know I will do because I'm not good at window shopping, then I think I'll feel really guilty, and I'll have to like hide it from my mom so she doesn't ask me like, oh, you bought stuff again, and all that stuff.
Okay, so because you don't have job and you don't have money, you still rely on your mom financially. So that kind of gives you like kind of feeling burden. Yeah, spending money on shopping. Okay, that makes sense. So do you want to talk about that kind of guilty feeling on shopping today?
Yes.
Okay. And about your sad mood, you marked high scores on next 4 days starting Tuesday. So how do you feel now?
Pretty much the same. Yeah.
So how sad were you? What did you do when you're sad?
I don't really do anything when I'm sad. I just cry a lot.
Okay. So if you rate the sad mood from 1 to 100, what number do you think you want to give?
90.
90. Wow. That's very intense mood. So basically you've been overwhelmed by sad feeling like most of the week. Okay. All right. Then do you eat and sleep normally? What's your eating and sleeping pattern? How do you sleep?
I haven't really been eating or sleeping regular, like those like regular patterns.
Okay, how many hours do you sleep?
I don't know, maybe like 3, so like maybe like 5 in total, because I always like wake up in the middle of the night and then try to sleep again, and then I wake up.
So you try to sleep but you couldn't. Okay. How about eating? Do you eat? You don't eat regularly?
No, because I don't like. I like cooking for myself because I feel like I don't deserve going out and buying good food. So I should be cooking for myself. But when I'm home, I don't want to do anything. So I don't cook, and then I just end up grabbing whatever's left. So it's really not up to me. If there's leftovers, I eat. If there's not leftovers, then I don't eat.
Okay. So you just said you feel also kind of guilty to buy good food for yourself. And because of the money issue. Is that right?
Yeah.
And then to cook food for yourself, you have like no desire or strength to do those stuff at home. Okay. And I think you're struggling with the symptoms of depression. But I also want you to get physical, because sometimes the way you eat and sleep not in healthy way is because of some biological reason. I want you to get it, and then can you give me the result next time?
Yeah.
All right, good. Okay. Then, is there anything else you want to talk about? Any agenda that you want to talk about today?
I can't think of anything right now.
Okay. All right. Then I will tell you what we'll cover today. And we've been talking about a couple of agendas already, like guilty feeling on money spending and eating and sleeping habit. And we will talk a little more about other agendas. And then I'm gonna ask you how your last week was, and then we're gonna work on the most important agenda today. And after that, we're going to check the homework, but we already did it. We found out you did a great job. So we'll skip that part. And we're going to review the new homework. I'm going to give you a new homework, okay? And then we're going to summarize the session, what we've been doing together. And then I'm gonna ask you for feedback at the end of the session. Okay, so how does that sound?
Sounds good.
Okay, all right. So, I want to know more about your last week. What happened and what did you do last week? So after session,
right.
Yeah.
Last week after the session, I felt better because you were teaching me about how this is a common problem and basically that I'm not alone with this problem. So it made me feel less lonely and better.
Okay. So you felt a little hope?
Yeah.
You can be better. Okay.
And on top of that, I met Sarah. So that was good. She was listening to me.
Okay.
And,
but so you met Sarah on Monday, right? So what happened on Tuesday? Is there any?
Well, so after I met Sarah and I was feeling very good, on Tuesday, because I was hopeful, I checked the email and there wasn't any responses. So I think I just felt like, although I know in my head that this is everyone's problem, but I still felt like I've been more directly rejected. I asked for a position, I turned in my resume and I didn't have any response. And
even though it's not no, you took it as rejection.
I don't know, maybe I would want a flat out no better than keeping me hanging. It's so
okay, so maybe plus anxiety.
Yes.
Okay, all right. So what happened on Tuesday? Your mood score says starting Tuesday you've been pretty much depressed.
Yeah, because of that, I just didn't want to do anything again, and didn't want to go outside again, and it was just going back to the same.
Okay, all right.
Place.
So okay, let me ask you if I understand you correctly. So Tuesday, last Saturday after the session, you were a little bit hopeful because you thought you could solve problem with me, and then you have a help. So, but on Sunday, what did you do on Sunday? Did you go to church?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah, that helped too.
Okay.
Like just being with my church family and praying to God always kind of gives me peace and soothes me.
All right.
Yeah.
So Saturday after session and Sunday was good, and even Monday was good because you met with Sarah. But Tuesday in the morning when you open up the email, no response for email the interview. So that made you like feel rejected and anxious. Okay. All right. So from that on, you were very depressed. Am I right?
Yes.
It is an important issue. It seems like you're, feeling of rejection and like anxiety pretty strong. So do you want to talk about that? Like those negative mood in terms of searching job?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, but thing is that we only have a limited time here. So we talked about guilty feeling on spending money, and then eating and sleeping pattern, and depressed feeling and anxiety in job searching. So if you want to choose one, the the one that you want to put priority, which one would it be?
I think job
Searching with depression.
Right.
Okay, all right. And if we have time, so we can do more, which one will be the second one?
The guilty feeling.
Shopping?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, so if we work on the first agenda, which is depression and anxiety and job searching, what do you expect after we're working on this issue? I mean, how would you know if we solve the problem well?
I think I'll feel less depressed.
Okay. So if you're less depressed, how your behavior change? If you don't have the depression, how would you act differently?
I will be more active in the job search.
Okay.
And just generally more happy.
More happier? Okay. All right. So if you are more active in job searching, what would you do and what would you not do?
I'd probably be working on my resume more often and looking for open positions rather than being on the social media for so long.
Okay, all right. So if you send more application or more resume, how many times do you think you would do that without depression?
Without maybe like 3.
3 times a week?
Yeah, 3 times a week.
3 times a week, okay, with the normal feeling. Okay. All right. Then without depression, you said you will spend less time on social media. And then what do you think you would do in those times that you're not doing social media anymore? Then instead, what do you think you would do?
I could meet like actual people, like my friends.
All right. Okay. And anything else?
Oh, and I could also go to church more often. Like those like little extra events that we have, and probably spend more time with God. Okay, good. So so you will like, how often do you think you will meet with people and spend time with God? Maybe 2 times a week with my friends, and then every morning with God.
Okay, right, good. What we just did is actually we set the goal. Okay. So the goals that you set are very good goals because they're all practical, they're achievable, and they're very specific, and they're all positive and healthy. Okay, so yeah, so you will know, because you have this goal, you will know if you work successfully in therapy, and then you met the goal by doing these stuff that you planned. Okay. All right. So but you said you will feel happier than now. So in the beginning of the session, you said the intensity of mood was like 90, right? And then what score would you be satisfied after you like solve the problem?
40.
Okay, that's very reasonable number. So let's talk more about Tuesday morning. So how did you feel on Tuesday morning? Sad. And what else did you feel?
I don't know, sad.
You said you were like rejected and then you had anxiety. And yeah, just imagine that, morning. You opened up the email and then you were expecting a few interview offers, but you found none. So you felt rejected.
Yeah, I think I was mainly just worried and just really hopeless.
Oh, you felt hopeless. Okay. All right. Then when you're feeling those emotions, actually those are very, it must be very hard for you because, those are very strong emotions and you felt all of them at the same time at once. And at that moment that, you're feeling it, or right before you're feeling, is there any thought that was going through your mind? What did you think?
I think I just felt like no one wanted to hire me.
Okay. I'm writing down your thoughts. Go ahead.
So no one wanted to hire me, and that I was never going to get a job, and that I'm not good enough.
I'm not good enough.
Yeah.
Okay. Is there any image or a picture in your mind in that moment?
I think like my parents' disappointed face and me like being homeless.
Okay. Even though you think those are unreasonable, some of the thoughts, but it still came up as a picture in your mind when you felt that. Okay, good. Thank you for sharing that. And okay, the reason why I asked you about your thoughts when you're struggling with negative moods is because thoughts and moods are very closely connected. Okay, so this is called cognitive model, and I'm going to show you the diagram to help you understand the cognitive model. So as you see here, thought, mood, and behavior are, related to each other, and actually these three are affecting one another. Okay, and behavior includes like a physiological reactions too. So depending on what you think, okay, that's how you feel certain emotion. And then when you feel a strong negative emotion, you will behave in certain way, or your body react in certain way, like heartbeat fast, and then sweat on the palm, or you feel kind of dizzy. Those physiological reaction happen, and situation also plays role in here. So in certain situation, you feel, you think certain thought, and then you feel certain feeling, and then your body or your behavior respond to your thought and mood, okay, in a situation. So all these 5 factors, including physiological reaction, play, important role in your life, okay? So that is cognitive model. And so, yeah, I would like to help you experience it more like in a real way, this theory. So let's say, you were home alone at night, and then somebody knocked on the door. And then you think, oh, at this late hour, there's no one to visit me. And then who's that person might be? And then you think, oh, what if somebody tried to break in? Then how would you feel?
Scared.
Yeah, you would feel scared. And then because you feel scared, what would you do?
check the locks, check the door,
Yeah.
windows.
Yeah. If the window is open, you're gonna close it and all that, right? Okay. But let's say you think in the same situation, hearing the door knocking, you think, oh, that's my friend who said who will visit me and then watch a movie together. Yeah. If that was your thought, how would you feel?
Like welcoming. I run to the door and
yeah. And then you're gonna go to the door and then open it, right? Yeah. So it's exactly the same situation, but depending on your thought, your mood is different, and then you will, behave differently. Okay, that's how this cognitive model, explain.
I see.
Okay, all right. Yeah. And actually, this cognitive model work in the other way too. So depending on your behavior, your thought and mood change too. Okay, so actually, it already happened in your life. Can you explain how your behavior, like going out with Sarah, changed your mood and thought?
Yeah, just simply being outside really made me feel better. And I just had like more hopeful thoughts because, I'm... Yeah, I just felt more alive.
Okay, all right, good.
Yeah.
And then, you found out nobody lives a perfect life. It's not just you who are struggling, right? Okay. Good. You're very smart. You have a logical mind, and then you understand it quickly.
Thank you.
Yeah. So I think that's your strength. Okay. All right. So I wrote down your thoughts that you said. Okay. Can you read them?
No one wanted to hire me. I will never get a job. I'm not good enough.
Okay. So how did you feel when you read these thoughts?
Not good.
Not good, right? Negative, right? Yeah. So it would be weird if you read or had these thoughts and you feel happy, right? So having negative feeling is not wrong at all. Okay. So there's nothing wrong with the feeling, but all the feelings are coming from thoughts. So if you want to improve your feeling, if you want to change your negative feeling, what do you need to change?
My thought?
Your thought. That's right. So we're going to apply this cognitive model to your depression. Okay, depressed feeling and anxiety that you felt in Tuesday morning. Okay. Okay. So now we'll practice identifying automatic thought. And automatic thought is like a thought that comes up to your mind automatically. Okay. So you don't have to, make effort, or you don't have to intend to have automatic thought. It just comes to your mind automatically and so quickly. Okay, so that's what we call it, automatic thought. And actually most of the automatic thoughts are negative. Okay, so yeah, it's because they're coming from our sinful nature, and obviously Holy Spirit wouldn't give us those negative thoughts. We call automatic negative thoughts by picking the first letter of each word. Automatic A, negative N, and thought T. So it becomes and yeah. So we want to identify, or we want to catch ants. Okay, and then we want to replace it with the truthful and helpful thought. Okay, that's what we're doing here. Okay, all right. So in order to find automatic thought, it's very simple, but it's a skill that you can learn and practice. Okay, it's not hard at all. You just ask a simple question: what is going through my mind? Okay. So when you had a mood change, or when you start feeling bad, what you do is, what is going through my mind? And then you're gonna think about automatic thought you had at the moment, or right before you felt the negative mood, and then you will come up with the thoughts. Okay. So those thoughts I wrote down, okay, that you said in the Tuesday morning you had, those are automatic thoughts. So this is gonna be your homework. Okay. Yeah. You when you're home, or when you're doing job searching, and when you start feeling like rejection or depression or hopeless, okay, before you just felt it, right? You just were overwhelmed, right? But this time I want you to try responding differently. Okay, with this identifying automatic thought skill.
Oh, okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
So when you feel like bad mood, what do you need to do? First, you need to sit down, okay? Instead of just, keep, chasing after, the thought chains, you just stop everything and sit down and then ask a question. What question was it?
What is going through my mind?
Yes, what is going through my mind? And then I want you to write it down, write the thought down, just like I did, okay? So, do you think you can do the homework? How do you feel?
Yeah, I think I can do it.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. So,
maybe
is
not
it
consistently.
okay? So, you mean you don't think you can do it like every day?
Yeah, I don't know.
All right, okay. So you don't have to do this every day. When you feel like down, or when you had a mood switch.
Okay.
All right. So how about this? Like, do homework like 3 times a week. How does it sound? If it's not every day,
Yeah, I can do 3
you can do that.
Yeah.
You like 2 times? Which one you like better?
2 times.
2 times better.
Yeah.
Okay. So doing this 2 times a week, how likely do you think you'll do it?
I can do it.
Yeah, more likely you'll do it? Okay, great. It's time to close already. So I'm going to summarize what we've done today.
Okay.
And first, we talked about your depressed mood and anxiety and job searching. And then you chose that for today's main agenda. And we talked about the feeling and thought, and we set the goal. Okay, when we work on a depressed mood and job searching, and how would you know if we successfully solved the problem? And then the goal was first, you're gonna feel better, so your mood level will drop from 90 to 40, yes, and you're gonna search job more actively, which means you set about 3 resumes and pending a week, okay, and then everyday time with God, right? Okay, and then you're gonna meet, hang around with people like 2 times a week, right? Okay, so that was a good goal. That's what we did, and I did a lot of education. I did a lot of explanation about cognitive model, and in cognitive model there are like 3 factors in triangle. Do you remember what they are? Thought,
behavior, mood,
that's right. And then behavior included our body, like a reaction, physiological reaction, okay? And surrounding it all, there's one more thing that plays a role. Environment or situation, okay? Yeah. And then we also talked about identifying automatic thought, like ants, catching an ant. And then, I said automatic thought, comes up to your mind just automatically, but there's a way to you find it. Do you remember how to do it?
You stop and you ask yourself what's going through my mind, and then you write it down.
Yeah, I want you to write down, and then that was the homework.
Right.
Okay. Yeah. So about homework, we said we're going to like 2 times a week.
Yes.
Will be good for you. Okay, good. And that was my feedback. I would like to ask, no, not feedback, that was my summary. I would like to ask your summary. How, is there anything you learned or think is important to you?
Well, the ants, the automatic thought, how to like identify it, and then the diagram,
cognitive model,
and then setting goals.
Yeah. So do you think those are helpful for you in solving your depressed mood? Yeah. Okay. All right. Then we already talked about the new homework, and then you said you'll more likely do it. Yeah. And just for the last thing, I would like to ask you for a feedback for today's lesson. Is there anything you want me to improve, or anything that makes you like uncomfortable today?
Not uncomfortable, but like I just don't know how much of this I'll remember. by our next session.
Okay, so today you get lots of information. Yeah, introduced to you. Yeah, that makes sense. So don't worry, I'm gonna give you a handout when you leave. You're gonna bring it with you, okay, at home. So it's good. I didn't put it in your homework, but it's good if you can just read the handout and then just review what we learned, okay, at home, like as many as possible, like every day or like 3 times a week. Okay. All right. Is there anything else? Any question? Any comment?
No.
No? Okay. So do you think you're likely to come back next time? Okay. All right. So next week, see you next week. Yeah.